Welcome to the Take Care Sis podcast with me, Ki, and Kiki.
Join two friends for a conversation around self-care in real life. We'll talk about anything on the spectrum from bubble baths to setting boundaries to managing friendships and more.
As your sisters, we also just want to provide a weekly check-in. You know, like big sis asking little sis, sis, you good? So come on in, sis. Let's talk about how we can take better care of ourselves. Hey, Kiki.
Hey, Ki.
How are you, Sicky?
Did you say sicky?
I did say sicky. Y'all, my little sis is sick.
Don't make me laugh.
She got some type of cootie, y'all. I don't know what it is. She over there coughing. We don't get through. And, you know, this is one of those,
I got Covisha over here with me.
See, I wasn't even going to put your business out there, friend, but you did. So
I don't care. I mean, most people, whatever. I got Covisha over here with me. Yeah.
She got Covisha. And it's funny because she's been talking ish about Covisha this entire time. Every time she talked about it, she'd be like, panoramic, remember? And so
we still, it don't matter. We still in a panoramic. This is still a panoramic, and we all out here. People out here acting like we ain't in one. We still in it.
Amen. This is
the
what
Panama
I do.
Canal is still going. Okay. The Pandora's box is still open. Y'all, we out here acting like it ain't nothing. It's still here.
That is not what we're here to talk about though today, y'all. So there's that. But I will let y'all know that Kiki got a cough. I got a cough for two different reasons. She got Covisha. I got allergies. We gonna get through. But if you hear us coughing, just, you know, it's not contagious through the through the airways. It's not contagious. Anyway, Kiki, last week, your self-care goal was to be more introspective. I'm pretty sure you were introspective as hell since you was on that couch.
I've been on the couch. I've been getting to know my couch and my bed so much over the last week. And yeah, it wasn't that I was trying to be introspective in that way. I just got thrown into it. So how was your week?
My week was tough because last weekend, y'all, I went to Austin, Texas to celebrate me, and I had a blast. However, I got stuck in Austin for an extra day. So my travel day was supposed to be Monday. There were crazy storms and whatnot. So we got stuck in Austin. I had to stay in Austin an extra day. And I promise you, just missing one day at work feels like you've missed 20. So like I'm still playing catch up. So this week was you know, it was what it was. But I will say that I did celebrate me, so that was very exciting. And then, like, I had to work this weekend. I worked my first community event. And today, however, I just literally took a moment to be alone. But I was alone in public. So it was cool. It was a little different. Had me a little glass of wine by myself. Didn't feel like being bothered, but you know, it is what it is.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
No. So I'm excited about what I did. So recap of last week's. I wrote that letter to myself, and
that's a beautiful letter.
That's all I have to say about it.
It was a beautiful letter. I know you're not gonna say it, and I'm not gonna make you have to go and relive it like you say. But it was a beautiful letter.
Thank you.
So we had we actually had responses, or a response to one of our questions that we left on Spotify that we tell y'all every week to go and participate in.
Answer
So
the questions.
this was from episode 7, which was called F That Job. If you have not listened to it, go listen.
Oh, sorry.
Go listen. You're good. The question for that week was, have you left a job because of any reasons related to the Great Resignation? If not, what boundaries did you create in the workplace? And that episode was all about the Great Resignation and like weighing your options, knowing when to leave. So we got a response from Maria, and she said, I quit a job when I was still in my 90-day period because the boss was awful. And I absolutely told her, with capital letters, and I absolutely told her why I was quitting when asked. None of this better opportunity BS. Nah, you're awful. Full stop. That had me crying.
Let me tell you how funny that is. let me tell you how funny that is. Basically, what sis said was, you know how like you get ready to leave a job?
Yes.
And I was low-key sort of guilty of the same thing, right? You leave and you be like, you're appreciative of where you've gotten. Like I try to appreciate and look at every job that I've had or whatnot, as an opportunity, as a level up. But anyway, what sis is saying that when she quit, instead of saying, oh, I got a new opportunity, sis was like, no, fuck that. You were awful. I'm out. And that right there, I don't know you, friend, but I love you for that. Like, I want to be your friend in real life because that is some boss-ish. That is like, that is so amazing. I love her for this. I hope she's listening. And like that thing right there, like gave me new level of like, okay.
That last line had me dying. I was like, oh, she was serious. She was so serious about this.
Like, what?
Full stop.
Listen, that's some boss level. Okay, like she's my shit.
That's exactly what we meant, though. That whole statement just embodied everything that we talked about in that episode. Like, F
it did,
that
but she
job.
said it, and so like she said it, and that right there, she gets claps.
That job.
Finger snaps and claps, all of them.
That's right. So thank you, Maria, for answering our question. We really enjoyed this answer, as you can see.
Friend.
And also, we have 7 whole reviews on Apple.
7 whole reviews.
We got 7 whole reviews, y'all. Thank y'all for going and giving us 5 stars, like we be asking. And we just gonna push y'all a little more. Can we get to 10? That means 3 more, y'all. 3 more y'all listening.
We just need 3 more.
3 more y'all listening. And if you're on Spotify, all you gotta do is do the 5 stars. They don't even ask for the review. 5 stars. That's all we need.
That's all we need.
That's all we need, y'all. But we did have a review from Robinia. And she says,
I was gonna say Robiana.
Robiana?
That's what I was going for. I don't know. Okay.
So she says the check-in with your bestie or your sister is always needed. So thankful to these ladies talking through all levels of self-care. So thank you for your 5-star review and the kind words. We really do appreciate it. And not only that, both of us get individual messages from y'all telling us how you love the podcast as well. But we appreciate all y'all for listening. We just want y'all to know that.
Yes, because I would hate to just be up here talking in Kiki's face and y'all not listening. Because I can talk to her and I don't even like talking to her sometimes. So, it's just,
Wait. Hold up. Wait. Did you say you don't like talking to me sometimes?
Listen, sometimes you get in a weird place and, there's other stuff I would just rather do than sit here and talk about like my letter to my 20-year-old self. So that's all I'm saying is thank y'all for giving us purpose. And thank you for your 5 stars. And thank you for all the reviews. And thank you for all the constructive criticism. And thank you for the criticism. And thank you for the love. And yeah, all of that. Thank you.
Fired.
Huh?
You about to be fired.
Whatever. And I'm doing hearts with my fingers, y'all. That's how much that's my feels. Hearts with my fingers. Listen. Let's go back to our sis Maria, right? Maria said, nah, this job is awful, full stop, right? That right there is not only setting a boundary, but that is maintaining your boundaries. And that's exactly what we're talking about today. Some of the topics you all wanted us to talk about was boundaries. Like it's been mentioned a couple times. And we try to weave boundaries in to pretty much all of our episodes because maintaining boundaries is probably the first step to self-care. But boundaries encompass a variety of things we do, or a variety of things today. So today we are focusing on one, and in terms of self-care for us, it can be hard. But once you embrace the concept of boundaries, you will love to set them. It will be freeing. You will feel like you have control over your life. That is important to people like me. I'm not saying I'm a control freak, but I don't like to feel like I'm out of control, if that makes sense at all.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that makes sense? No?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're lying. And this is why this is why I don't like talking to her, because she ain't right. She ain't right. Anyway.
You don't like talking to me because I call you out on your stuff just like you called me out on mine. But that's what we're here for. It's okay.
Today, we're talking about saying no, Coffeesha, because I want all of us to know. Because I want all of us to know, KNOW, that no, N-O, is a full stop. Like it's a full sentence. Full stop. It's a sentence. And saying no is a form of self-care. So like when Maria said, no, you're awful, I'm out. That was her no. That was her full sentence. She was done. That was her maintaining a boundary.
That was her no to several things. She said no to this job. She said no to trying to sugarcoat anything. And that's it. Full stop. You're awful. I'm letting you know that you're awful. That was her no.
That was her no. Kiki, why is it so hard to say no?
So it is hard for us to say no because a couple different things. Sometimes we get into a space where we are trying to people please. That means that we want everybody to be happy all the time. We don't want to really disappoint others. So that's fear of disappointing people. And then you have the need to be there for others. I know I fall into that category a lot. Like I feel like I have to be there for everyone. And also going back to the people pleasing, you're trying to avoid conflict or keep peace. These are all the things that keep you from saying no.
So, when we were talking about this, or I was going over the notes for this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about people pleasing, fear, disappointing others, the need to be there for everyone, and trying to avoid conflict / keep the peace. And I realized that is so me. Now, here we go. So I am one big walking contradiction, and I'm okay with it. So as much as I'd be like, I don't really care, I do care, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like disappointing certain people in my life, namely that woman and that man that created me. By the way, I sent my mama this last podcast. Anyway, I sent it to a friend. I did. She needed to know. I still ain't got no Easter basket though. But I don't like disappointing my parents, and I've lived with that for a long time. Like it has fear of disappointing my parents made a lot of decisions for me, namely the 4 years of college, and trying to pursue a higher education since then. Like, all of that was for my parents. I got to a point where I was just like, am I living my life or theirs? But I really think, and I'm gonna challenge anyone on this, this is a daughter's plight. The Black daughter, whew, or not only the daughter, I am kind of like a middle first child. So I think it's a first child thing, and I definitely think it's a daughter thing. And I could be wrong, but definitely as the first daughter, that's a weird place to be. And you become all of those things by like age 6. So
Right.
you're into people pleasing, because you're helping take care of the younger siblings. You're making sure they're okay. And then when your older sibling is a boy, no one wants to give boys responsibility. So I'd be like, yo, you got to watch your brothers. Wait, but he's older than me. You got to watch your brothers anyway.
Yeah, that seems to be a problem. I can't relate to that because I'm an only child. I grew up an only child. But definitely I do the same thing. I care a lot about people that mean something to me, like you said. I don't want to disappoint other people. I don't want to let people down. And if I know that they've been there for me, I feel bad if I say no to something. And that kind of makes it a conflict for me in my mind. Like, do I say no? Do I say yes? Do I do it because I know that they'll do the same thing for me, or do I not do it because I just ain't got the energy? Like it's a constant conflict sometimes.
Yeah. And then I'm always trying, not necessarily here to be a peacekeeper, but I will avoid conflict. And so you're going to get a out of me when I just don't want to talk about it anymore. But that's not necessarily me saying no. No, I'm sorry. That's not the same as saying no. It's just, I want to avoid the conflict. So I'm going to just be like,
right.
I want it to be over now.
Especially if it's something that's kind of, recurring.
Okay.
Like, it keeps coming up and there's no solution. And you just get to a point where you're like, whatever, I'm just going to do this and get it over with.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to deal with it no more.
Right.
So, the importance of saying no. So we know that if we are thinking of things that we do on a daily basis and things that we choose to do, we're thinking of it in terms of energy. So you are continuing to expend your energy, which fills up your schedule and also adds to your mental clutter. So if you're saying yes to a bunch of events, you're filling up your schedule, whether that's for an important reason or most likely an unimportant reason that's not going to add value to your life. And you're also adding mental clutter. So I think of mental clutter in terms of if you're choosing to take on other people's problems, even hearing them sometimes can add to your mental clutter. This is not your problem. You don't need to worry about it. Why are you allowing yourself to sit through something like that?
Right. When I think of mental clutter, I literally think of like the fact that some people just have a hard problem turning their minds off. Or mental clutter, right? When I went to Austin, bless it, the person with whom I went to Austin with, she likes to listen to TV to go to sleep. I like my white noise. So I felt one night I couldn't sleep well. And that particular night, it just felt like mental clutter because it was just the TV. And so there was something, there was always like something going on. I couldn't get my mind to stop wondering and to stop thinking because there was no quiet time, right? And especially as an introvert, I need that quiet time. I need to shut off, to shut down, or else I'm just a grumpy bear. But eventually I got to sleep. So that's the interesting thing about roommates. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I don't like to have roommates. But
I mean, it was a couple days. It's all good. We had a
yeah,
blast.
a couple
After
days
that.
is, yeah, you can deal with it for that, but long term, no, thank you. Um, no, I get it. I didn't even think about that because, like you said, I literally have to turn off at night, and I'm not one that likes to have the TV on because the light from the TV is going to keep me up, and I'm going to always be kind of looking over my shoulder, like, "What's on TV? What's this?"
Right.
And
Right.
if I do have the TV on, you have to be mindful of what you're doing. So sometimes I'll choose to do like the YouTube videos where it's like a fireplace or something that's not like a bunch of things going on. It's just one static thing, and you're just basically doing it for the noise.
Right.
And I also choose to do like sleep stories, something that's kind of boring and it's just going to put me to sleep anyway.
I can't do sleep stories.
I can. It depends on who it. I had to go through a few different podcasts to find some that actually would be soothing for me to go to sleep. But I like sleep stories as long as they're not like. It depends on the person's voice too, because some people's voice is like it makes me want to stay up, and then it gets irritating after a while. I'm like, girl, this is not putting me to sleep.
Yeah, it's one person. So I had the Calm app for a little while. I might still have it. Who knows? I had the Calm app, and it was one person that my friend Yolanda, she was like, yeah, you should listen to her. And didn't exactly work for me. It was better than most of them, but it didn't exactly work. It was one man that I found. He was just, I don't know, was it the story or anyway, I don't like sleep stories. I like the white noise. It's very much in the background. And then my white noise, don't even get it twisted. It's not like white noise. It's water sounds.
Yeah.
The fire sign to me, but the water immediately puts me out. So
yeah. I like water sounds, and I like I can do like lo-fi beats. I can do those. I love lo-fi beats to go to sleep too.
Yeah. And of course, I am always and forever going to go to sleep on a sound bowl. So this is why I'm going to go ahead and shout out my girl, Ki Kiki. She puts me to sleep every time. I don't know if she will sleep with a sound bowl, but I do.
I mean, I think that's what is one of the purposes. You're resting. That's what it's for.
Every time. And so I even made, like on Spotify, you can I made this playlist where it's my sound bowl. So like there's a sound for Aries. I thought it was interesting, but it works. So that, and then I figured out what megahertz brainwave that I like. Yeah, so that gets real sciencey, but those work for me too. The megahertz sound, the sound waves, and whatever this Aries thing is, it works for me in water. Other than that, yeah.
Yeah, so basically, like we were saying, you're still expending your energy to different things. When I was looking up different articles, I found a quote inside of an article, and it said, when you say yes to others, make sure you are not saying no to yourself. And that quote is by Paulo Coelho. I'm guessing that's how you say his name. He's also the author of The Alchemist.
This goes back to something I brought up a couple of episodes ago when we were talking about work boundaries. And I said, one thing you could approach with your manager or your boss, and you let them know, like if you're feeling overwhelmed or you got your plate's already full, you go to your manager and you'd be like, when they're coming to you, it's like, hey, I need you to add this to your schedule. And you'd be like, okay, so if I say yes to this, what can I say no to? Or if you give me this project, what can I now get rid of or pass on to the next person? So this reminds me of that. I love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Because it encompasses everything that we're trying to say about the importance of saying no, right? Because if you're saying yes to everybody and you're saying no to yourself, it defeats the purpose of you doing self-care. That's what it is. Self-care is making room in your schedule for something that's going to help you in the future, or help you to recharge, help you to regroup. And if you're not making any time for that, you're not doing self-care. You're just continuing to give your energy to everyone else, and you're not leaving any for yourself.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Interesting you say that. So in terms of self-care, when you're saying no, it helps you to say yes to yourself, right? So you say yes to more time for you. You say yes to setting boundaries. You say yes to keeping your mind clear of thoughts you don't need to think about. So listen, I see this all the time, right? When I go get my nails done, it never fails. You have women in there and, they'll say, oh, I go get my nails done for self-care. But when you're in there and you're on the phone with your boss, your job, your whomever, that's not exactly making time for yourself. Now, unless you in there, sometimes some people be doing the best of the gossiping. I'll be listening, ear hustling. But yeah, like yeah, you gotta stop you gotta stop. I am the queen of multitasking. Shut up. Just don't even look at me.
I was gonna go there, but you already went. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go off camera. So hush. So anyway, y'all, when it comes to self-care, I encourage you, I invite you, I challenge you to stop multitasking with your self-care. When you go get your nails done, if that's going to be your self-care, get your nails done. Have a conversation with the person that's doing your nails or not. Right. Just sit and relax. Because listen, when I be in that chair, I don't want to talk. Let me get the lullaby of the massage chair, please and thank you. Right. But yeah, like I challenge you, the next time you do something small for self-care, like getting your nails done, getting your hair done, getting your waxings, your facials, don't go in there and be trying to multitask. And just see if you have a better experience. That's it.
Girl, when I go get my facials, my esthetician, that girl sets the mood. Like, she has lights low, she got music like lo-fi beats, like spa music and stuff. And I literally sleep through it. I'm sleeping through facials, I'm sleeping through exfoliations. Like, I'm pretty sure I've awakened myself with my own snoring because it's so relaxing. Like, I sleep through every session.
That's how I am if I do like any type of like massage. So y'all know the place I like to go has a salt room. So when I'm in the salt room, I don't want to be don't text me. Matter of fact, I just put my D&D because I'm finna enjoy this right here. The one thing that I will though, like my wax lady, I actually get sugared, but my sugar lady, it's okay if she talks to me because I need something to keep my mind off the fact that you're yanking hair out of my body.
Right.
That one's okay.
Yeah. So from that same article, there was another saying that I thought was a pretty good summary as well. It says, saying no allows us to choose where we put our time and energy. It allows us to focus on giving it to the people and parts of our life that really deserve it, just as we've been saying this whole time. Like, yes, we want to be people pleasers sometimes, but you also have to be able to please yourself. Figure out where you want to give your time and energy. Everybody doesn't deserve your time and energy all the time. You don't have to let everyone have complete access to you all times of the day, every day.
Right.
Set your boundaries.
Set your boundaries. Yeah. And back to the parentals, the people who birthed me. It was maybe a couple of years ago. I had just this real honest conversation with my mom. And, there were emotions and feels and tears and whatnot. But, she just kind of said, because moms have a way of putting their the dreams that they didn't get to fulfill and stuff like that, they have a way of trying to put that on you as the daughter or as the first daughter. I'm going to go ahead and say that again, as the first daughter. So, you know, when my mom, the wedding that she didn't have, I was supposed to have. The jobs, the careers and stuff like that she didn't have, I was supposed to have. And we just had an honest conversation one day. And, you know, I had to tell her, I was honest. I was like, Mom, all of that sounds like hell to me. I don't want none of that. And, you know, again, the emotions. And she just let me know that she was proud of me and she was proud of, you know, me and the trajectory that I had going for my life. And I'll be honest, is since having that conversation with my mom, since being able to relate to her and let her know what I really wanted out of life and how I didn't want to live her life, since having that conversation, a lot less stress. She'll never be worrying me about some grandkids no more, stuff like that. And honestly, like the people pleasing, because the people who I didn't want to disappoint have always been her and my dad. My brothers sometimes, but they definitely get on my nerves. But definitely mom and dad. Mom and dad are the people that I didn't want to disappoint the most. So, you know, when that was off the table, I've literally had a new sense of freedom in my life. And I'm grateful, even though she didn't get me an Easter basket.
You need to set that boundary. Like, look, the least you can do is get me an Easter basket on Easter.
I didn't ask to be here. The least you could do was give me an Easter basket. How can we say no? See, we got to talk about this. In order to be able to say no without guilt or hesitation, we have to know our own boundaries. Say, for example, professionally. We've talked about this previously. You know me. I will not hesitate to talk about work boundaries. But anyway, professional boundaries, work schedule boundaries. That is something that you got to start maintaining those day one. Work relationship boundaries too. Funny, so I'm in the nonprofit world, and I've been in those nonprofits that are just like, oh, we're a family, and that works, and sometimes it doesn't. And you know, I found that some people just really don't appreciate that family stuff. And the unfortunate part about the family stuff is when it no longer feels like a family, it definitely doesn't feel like a family. But I've also been in the corporate sector, and being in the corporate world, I wish that we had more of the family. So, you know, but you need to figure out what works for you, right? And so even if your company is like, we're a family, you can let them know, hey, you guys are like my distant cousins. You don't have to say that, but you definitely have to set those boundaries to let them know we are not brother and sister. We are third and fourth cousins. You got to set those boundaries. But I firmly believe your work schedule boundaries, you set those on day one. Day one, you'd be like, all right, like if you get to set your schedule, that helps. A lot of times schedules are given, but especially this work from home environment, you set that day one and put it on your calendar, friend. Be like 8 a.m. start, 5 p.m. done. Okay? And you can block off the rest of your calendar after 5 that they can't even put nothing on it.
Right.
And take your lunch breaks.
Exactly. So, another way to set your boundaries, we're talking about mental and emotional boundaries. And kind of what I said before. And I know that we said that, you know, it's good to have a support system, people that you can kind of vent to, kind of bounce ideas off of, and kind of like let your feelings out with. But also knowing that sometimes you are the person that people like to dump things on because you're so welcoming and so understanding. I know I'm that person. So you have to know at what time you can actually take hearing about other people's problems, or when you are actually ready to hear and respond to their problems at that time. Because if they're just dumping stuff on you, you're still filling up your mind with this. I'm the person that I'll be thinking about somebody else's shit all night because I'm like, they need to do this, they need to do that, they need to do that. And it depends on when they tell me. But definitely not late at night. Don't be calling me with your shit. I don't need it. I gotta go to sleep.
I'm going to sleep, friend.
I'm going to sleep. But it just depends. You have to know what your boundaries are and what you're willing to take and when. Sometimes you have to have that cutoff period of like, look, I can't talk right now. And people that care about you and know you will understand. They'll be like, okay, well, you just let me know and we can talk about it later. Fine with me.
Right.
If that makes sense.
One thing I'm really good / bad at is social boundaries. Do you want to attend social gatherings? Like setting social boundaries, especially as an introvert. Listen, I have legit walked out of parties, walked out of functions, walked out of dinners because my battery just dies and I have to go. So I usually give folks a warning and be like, I'm tired. But if y'all still want to talk, y'all might look up and I have left. I don't play about my social meter. And so that goes back to mental and emotional boundaries. I know when I've had enough and I will let you know that I've had enough. This is why, like, text me. Now, there are some people that I legit enjoy talking on the phone with. And there are opportunities when you should talk on the phone. Like if I have to ask you something quick, or if I have to say something that might not come off across well in text, I'll pick up the phone. But for the most part, I like to text folks because that also gives me a minute as far as receiving text, right? If I'm in a place where mentally I can't handle whatever it is that you got going on, through text message, like I can kind of gauge, oh, this person needs to talk and I don't have that energy right now. But just call me out the blue. Just all I'm saying is if you see me on the social medias, but I'm not answering your phone, still don't call.
Yeah, luckily I don't have that problem where people will be like, "Oh, you on social media? Why you ain't answer my text?" Most of the time, the people that I deal with, like we usually text each other first, like, "Hey, are you busy?" And if I say yes, okay, let me know whenever you can talk, and that's the end of it. Or I need to talk. Let me know when you're free and available, and that's the end of it. So luckily I have that and I don't have to worry about people just like picking up the phone and just calling me out the blue.
It's usually people that don't know me.
Yeah.
Definitely not answering. Love y'all.
I mean, I will look at this text and then like answer you in an hour and be like, no, I'm busy.
Just send a text, friend. Just because I'm gonna get back to you when I can, but I can't at this moment, so just send a text.
Yeah, so it's just like just knowing what your boundaries are for mental and emotional needs and what your social battery is. Know when your social battery is low, just go ahead and leave. Like he said, go ahead and leave. Because once you get to that low battery, it's probably not gonna be pretty for you and your company.
Full on grump. You hear me? I go from like in terms of Care Bear, I go from the Sunshine Bear to straight on the Grumpy Bear. Like,
I mean, it's true. It is definitely true. So, one way that I like to determine my boundaries is for activities and other things is determine if the activity adds to your life in a positive way or if it takes away from your life in a positive or negative way. So if it takes away from your time, but it actually adds to your emotional well-being or whatever, then do it. But if it takes away and you're just not going to feel good about what you did afterwards, don't. And I think that's pretty simple.
Pretty simple. Another way is, would you feel drained if you said yes?
Yeah. That's the easiest way. Like, is this gonna drain my energy where I'm just gonna feel so depleted that I'm gonna have to recover for like 50 days afterwards? No, I don't need to be here. I don't need to do this.
Like, I had an event for work yesterday, and peopling and all the peopling with strangers drains my battery, right? And then I was supposed to come home yesterday and do something else social. I had to go ahead and cancel on everybody. Because the other thing is, if I'm too drained, what I've noticed is me being drained doesn't affect me just that day. So like, if I would have overextended myself yesterday, I would have been drained today and probably tomorrow. But I needed to be refreshed today because I have a busy week, or I have a busy beginning of my week. So I knew that I had to set that boundary and say no to going out last night, in order to function for the rest of this week. But you get better with this when it takes practice, right? You get better saying no, you get better setting boundaries, you get better learning what drains you, what doesn't drain you, what you can handle, what you can't handle. So, don't fret. Don't fret. And then that article that Kiki found gave some examples of if saying no is the part that gets you the most. There's some other things that you can say, or some other ways that you can phrase it. So you're not saying no, but it's the same implication. Take, for example, you can say, hey, that sounds great, but I'm afraid I'm busy.
Simple enough. Or you can say, I'm not able to take anything else on right now. And that's exactly what you were saying earlier with like the work schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Also, that sounds like a great opportunity, but I'll have to pass this time.
Thank you for thinking of me, but this one just isn't for me, friend. Nope.
That sounds very familiar. Another is, I won't be answering emails outside of working hours. Definitely me. Don't call me. Don't call me. Also, I love to, but I'm afraid I don't have the time.
And that's real. Like,
Mm-hmm.
more people should use that one,
Mm-hmm.
because instead of saying yes to all the things, or instead of trying to fit me in or fit something in or work
Right.
around, like, just say, like, I don't really have the time.
Right.
Because there's other consequences to it, right? Like, if you're rushing one thing to get to the next, the first thing is neglected, or I don't know. More people need to use that one.
Yeah.
And then the last one's, that doesn't fit into my schedule. And then I won't be able to help at this time. So those are nice.
Yes, very nice ways to say no. So, Ki, how have you chosen to say no?
I just said no last night. I told you my example about how
Yes, you
I was
did.
already depleted from my work, and then people wanted me to go be social and celebrate birthdays and comedy shows. I wasn't able. So I literally said that. So we had a comedy show here in town last night, and I literally was like, listen, today drains me. I do not have the energy to go tonight. And that was nothing but real.
Good for you, friend.
Thank you. What about you, Kate?
So, And this is something that I've had to do over the past couple of years, especially with like teaching yoga classes.
Mm, that's a
For
huge.
Yeah, so for a while, and I love teaching restorative, and it got to a point when I was teaching at the studio while the studio was open. I was just like, I want my Sundays back because I mean, we already work full time during the week, and Saturday and Sunday is basically the only 2 days that we have to chill or either get ourselves ready. And then Sunday night is like when I would go out of town, I'd have to rush back to be at a physical class. And so for a couple years, I had to say no, like either I would switch it out with a couple other teachers, like we can rotate a schedule. But I was like, every Sunday I can't do this anymore, just for me. And also I had another opportunity come up, and I was just like, and it was a Sunday class, and I was still set in my boundary of no Sunday classes unless I'm at home. If I can set my own schedule, I'm fine with it. And if I'm doing it in my own space where I don't have to drive anywhere, then I'm fine. So I was like, no, I can't take it on this time. And if I find someone else who has the time or wants to take on the opportunity, I'll pass them along to you.
Yeah,
That
that's
was my
major for yoga teachers, especially like young. And I mean young in the sense, let me say new. Mm-hmm. New yoga teachers fall into this trap all the time. You're so excited about teaching yoga, number one, or like, let's be completely real. These yoga teacher trainings are expensive as shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you want to recoup that money, or you want to start making money. And
Right.
so no one knows who you are. So you, the one class that you've been assigned or whatnot, you're, nobody's really coming because they don't know who you are. So what you begin to do is try to take all the slots, and yoga studios, y'all wrong for this one. Y'all are quick to the slot that nobody wants. That's the one you're giving to the new teachers. You ain't right.
Yeah.
You ain't right. I get that there's a business reason, but still. So yoga teachers, they take on too many classes, or they're subbing all the classes, and you look up in 6 months to a year, you are exhausted. Exhausted. And trust me, as your students, we notice. We'd be like, okay, these
And
sequences.
I'm the type of teacher where I'll just tell them like, hey y'all, I am not feeling my best today, but I am here. Like if I couldn't find a sub, I'm like, look, if I'm not as enthusiastic as I usually am, I'm sorry, but I am here and we're gonna do this thing. And most of the time they understand. I mean, we're all people, but I mean, not only for yoga teachers, if you're teaching any kind of fitness class or any kind of class outside of your regular 9 to 5 or your regular job, just know that you don't have to take on every opportunity that comes your way. And every opportunity is not going to fit you, not just your schedule, but it's not going to fit you. So know what your boundaries are and what you want to represent.
I would say if I had to go back and do it again, I would have, instead of trying to pile all the classes onto my schedule, I would have probably just taken 1 or 2 classes, and really worked on marketing or developing my craft so that I could so I could give more to the students that I had in those 2 classes, as opposed to trying to pile on 5. Like that is probably something that I would do over. Also, I would have never teaching kids yoga. Okay, because y'all, I don't have very many regrets, but kids yoga, never again.
All right, y'all. So now we want to know from y'all, how do you say no, or how can you say no as an act of self-care for yourself? Y'all know we're going to put this as a question on our Spotify. Also, you can always DM us and we can share it on this podcast. But also just go ahead and share the podcast. Share it, y'all, with your friends. Share it on your social media, in your group text, all of that, so we can grow our community, okay?
Please. 5-star ratings, please.
Yes, 5-star ratings on Apple and Spotify. We greatly appreciate it.
Please.
Tell a friend to tell a friend, okay? Yes.
Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Yes, friend. So you can always find us at Take Care Sis Pod on Instagram and Facebook. And Key, where can they find you, sis?
You
Okay.
can find me on Instagram at yoga_with_key. Or you can come schedule a session for yourself, for your sports team, for your girls' night, for your bachelorette party. I do all the group things. Couples. You can come schedule on my website or just visit my website because I worked hard on it. You can go to yogawithkey.space. Kiki, where can they find you?
So you can find me on most social media platforms at This Curvy Yogi. That is curvy with an I, not a Y. And also you can hit me up on my website, thiscurvyyogi.com. That's where you can find my class schedule. And you can also book your one-on-one sessions with me, both virtual, in person, whatever. Just hit me up and we can schedule that. Okay? Okay.
Okay.
So
Kiki,
yeah.
what you doing for self-care this week, friend? That cough. I said it.
He said what?
Besides taking care of that cough, I said it.
Literally what I'm gonna do is take care of that cough.
You know how you take care of the cough, right?
Hmm?
You know how you can take care of the cough, right?
How?
Drink more water. Hey,
Like I have not been drinking water. Huh? Like I haven't been drinking water. Yes.
I'm just saying.
Okay. I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, I'm gonna be taking care of this cough, and that's all I'm really gonna focus on. It's the first of the month at my job, so I'm gonna be kind of busy up there, and I'm just gonna be sleeping after work. Kovisha got me over here tired.
Right. I want you to sleep so much more than that.
So I'll be over here tired, and I'm just gonna be over here resting. That's it. That's my self-care. What you gonna do for self-care this week, Key?
I'm gonna have to make a conscious effort to like take a breath, to take a break, because I'm moving, so I have to pack. So that's gonna keep me busy for a good 17 weeks. And I moved way sooner than 17 weeks. Anyway, so I just need to this week and moving forward, just be conscious about taking breaks.
Yes.
And by conscious of taking breaks, that means I can't get on TikTok. That means I can't, in taking a break, get lost in social media. I gotta be like, 15 minutes, breathe. I can't do the unrestricted breaks because then I'll get lost.
Girl, my report on screen time is terrible. Last week last week was even, it was like you were up here 12 hours more than usual. I was like, well, thank you.
You need to fire that app or whatever that is. Nobody asked them.
I know. It's just negativity. Every week, negativity.
We don't, none of that.
Because I was like, I ain't been doing nothing. I'm sorry, but I'll just be over here playing games and sleeping.
Right. Don't nobody need to hear that. Meanie.
I thought it was a good idea to check it, and then now I'm second guessing that idea.
Mm-hmm. Mine comes up every Sunday. If you're listening, Apple people, no one asked for that. No one. I can't even turn it off. I don't know where. You probably can turn it off. I just don't know how. But no one asked for that. No one needs that when I wake up on Sunday morning. Your productivity. Shut up.
Girl, I looked at that thing this morning. I was like, I didn't need to know that today. That is information I did not need to know.
Just rude.
But anyway, sis. I want you to take care of yourself this week.
No, I for real want you to take care of yourself. Take care of all of that.
Oh, trust me, I'm good right now. The only thing I have left is this cough. That's it.
Okay. Make sure you get
So.
some rest this week, friend, and drink water. Drink water.
Was that a cough that you were giving me?
Yes, that's
So.
what it was. Mm-hmm.
So we both need to drink water. Yeah. I mean, I'm drinking water too. Oh, attitude. All right, y'all.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all. We'll talk to y'all next week.